AFC South. So I think
There was something interesting to say about that.
Early, they weren't expected to have that 13-game win streak like they did last year.
This is the gift that God has given me to be able to help.
Thanks to the Democrats.
I'm not.
Am I correct?
you are correct.
Why blame? Why you're
I have a question for Carolyn. Carolyn, hold on. I have a question for you.
Yeah. No,
It's- All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is the Doug Saravo Show, which is brought to you by Unsolicited Role Models, the role models you may not want, but you may just need. It is Dougie, it is Drusty, and Juan Soto is officially a New York Met. How are we feeling today, Jimmy Drust?
Whoa, ow, before I hit my fucking head on the wall. I feel good. I think he's definitely in the right spot. I feel like he should have done it last year, but I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, I think.
Well, also too, he got traded last year, so I can't.
Yeah, he got traded to the Yankees, but I think this was the best time for him to go to the New York Mets. As you saw, the season they had surprised a lot of people, and I think he was waiting for that extension in free agency. I think he didn't want to get an extension with whether it was the Nationals or the Yankees or the Padres, whoever it was, because at the time those teams weren't going to be competitive. The Nationals, they've been rebuilding since he won a World Series in 2019. The Padres were close, but they were a few pieces away. The Yankees, they're lacking some depth in that lineup. They're lacking a first baseman, a third baseman. But this Mets team, they are built to win, and they are built to win now.
I agree. It just, if we could keep one more piece, and that'll be Pete Alonso. That's the big thing we're going to have. I think our rotation is better now. Our pitching rotation, I think it's better now. And I think if we keep Pete Alonso, I think that's going to just put us over big time. And I think it's going to put us on the map.
Yeah, the big question now is, will they keep Pete Alonso? I don't see why he won't want to return to the New York Metropolitans. Is money going to be the issue for Pete? I don't think so. I think he's going to be a loyal guy. I know he wanted $300+ million, whatever he wanted. He may get under $250. I'm not exactly sure. But the way he talks, the way he speaks about the New York Mets, the fans, the city, I see him taking that hometown discount. Now he may get 7 years, $150 million. Who knows? But I know he's not going to get originally that $350+ million. He earned his money when he hit that home run against the Milwaukee Brewers. If he hit into a double play, no doubt he would not have returned to the New York Mets. I think they would have moved on from him. But Pete Alonso should be a Met for life. And he's in that situation right now where, you know what, they got Soto, they got Frankie Montas, they're building something, and I want to win as a New York Met.
Yeah, I agree. And especially just before, Soto just put on the jersey and everything. That was all over the news and everything. He's there visiting right now. I think if they could keep Alonso, that team is going to be dangerous, especially to L.A. Because if you think about it, name another team besides the Mets in L.A. that are a threat in the NL.
You can say the Atlanta Braves, but they slow down lately. You can say the Philadelphia season, but they slowed down come October. They regressed. I would say they regressed because if you look at the Philadelphia Phillies from that 2022 World Series run, ever since then they lost. They blew a 3-2 lead against the Arizona Diamondbacks last year, and both games were home, and the offense died down. You look at it last year, they steamrolled through that NL East division. Everyone thought, you know what, this may be the year. This may be the year Bryce Harper finally gets his ring. The Phillies win it all. Everybody was saying that. I thought that in June. But here comes the New York Mets, and the Mets, they stopped them. The Mets stopped Harper, Schwarber, all these top guys that hit the home run ball. They struck them out. You saw that last pitch, Edwin Diaz struck out Kyle Schwarber. I was at that game. and Schwarber, I think, was 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. So the Phillies are a home run hitting team. They're a winning
they're like
team
the
like
Yankees. They're the Yankees in like
that.
2020.
But can they get it done in October? I think the Mets are the better built team to get there and finish the job in October. The Phillies are a great team, but I don't see them being a threat come October. I think what we saw in that NLCS or the playoffs last year in 2024
NLDS.
is that the Mets and the Dodgers deserved to be in that NLCS. Of course, the Dodgers exposed the Mets in different aspects, but the Mets aren't complete yet. But in the National League side, I can't really see a threat besides the New York Mets to the Los Angeles Dodgers come October. Regular season, I think the Phillies are going to be there. The Braves are going to be there. They're still competitive, good teams. But when it comes to what matters, which is October baseball, I think right now the Mets are built the better way.
Yeah. It's like with the Philly, I believe, I think they're in rebuild mode. I think they're going to blow it up because
Yes.
they have the same roster and they had a great record each time and they couldn't get it done in the postseason. Something's got to change. It's either the manager, the hitters, or something else. They have to figure it out. And they haven't made really moves yet to figure it out, so who knows what they do.
Yeah, and if you look back at that Met team, they really embraced that moment. They wanted that moment. They wanted October baseball. And for me, it seemed like the Phillies, they didn't want that moment. You know, they steamrolled through the regular season.
They started off as the hottest team.
Yeah, and it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And
Exactly.
although the Mets didn't win the World Series, they got there. And they proved, not just to you and I, not just to the fan base, but to everyone, the media, New York media, LA media, MLB Network, whatever you want to say, that this team wants to have fun, this team wants to win, and they're not just about having regular season success. They're about embracing October baseball, and that's why the Mets got to where they were last year.
Yeah, and I just feel like if now you add Juan Soto to that mix, I think now it's just a dangerous team because he's a better hitter. Is he a better player? He's decent. He's a better hitter. And that's what the Mets definitely need because where do you score more from? The hitting.
Yes, and he's going to have guys on base. I'm not sure you're looking at Lindor, Soto, I think Vientos, then Nimmo. That lineup is going to have a lot of depth now, and I don't think the Mets fan base should have to worry about the offense. It's more so the pitching. But when you look at that offense, the Mets have it in place where they could get guys on base. Bottom of that lineup, you're going to have Alvarez in that 9 spot. If he gets on base, if Lindor gets on base, Soto has an opportunity to drive in 3 runs,
Yeah.
2 runs. So having that Lindor, Soto, and Vientos or Nimmo, that's a solid 1 through 5.
Yeah, and then if you add with Alvarez, and then if you add Alonso to that mix.
So I think the Mets are in prime position, maybe win the World Series next year, but they're definitely going to be there within the next 5 to 10 years. They have guys under contract. They have Nimmo just signed an 8-year deal. So the Mets are built for the future. And a lot of Yankee fans like to be triggered. They have that self-centered mindset that we deserve every player. But we've been talking on this show for years, not years, but like the last year and a half.
Last year or two.
That Soto will be a Met. I think everybody saw that coming. Of course, Steve Cohen was going to open his wallet for him. Yes, money did play a factor, but I think there was more to it because the New York Mets are in prime position. It's not the same old New York Mets. It's not just the Mets. The Mets are bigger and better than they ever have before.
Yeah, and it's pretty much like I think Cohen needed that 1 year to learn the hard way of what money can buy, and I think he learned it, especially with the Justin Verlander and Max Scherzer.
Yes, I totally agree.
Like he needed to learn, like, oh, I guess this ain't the right way to put my money in. So then let me to let me develop my young guys. That's what he did.
Mhm.
He started developing the young guys, and he drafted and picked up people, and the minor leagues and stuff. So with Vientos, Alvarez, and all of them, they came up from the AAA and everything, and
Yes.
now he sees a young talent. We still got young talent too that can come up too.
Mhm.
What's his name's brother? Acuna's brother.
Yeah, so the Mets have the talent, they have the depth, they got the farm. And we go back to that 2020, I think 2023 where they had to basically sell off Verlander, Scherzer.
21,
Yeah.
22.
22 they made the playoffs. 2023 they brought in Verlander, I believe.
But then he
and everyone's like, "Oh, this is a transitional year for the New York Mets." It kind of was.
the beginning part.
It kind of was because it's showing where they're going to go. They're going to be that team that's hungry to win, and they want to get there. Everyone thought it was going to be one of those bottom feeder teams. If at first it was like that, but they really showed that they could compete. And I think if you can compete, you're going to bring talent over. And when you bring in guys and like Scherzer and Verlander, I think Cohen said, we got to spend this to show them that we're spending and we're trying to win. But those guys basically did not work out with their new team, with their new teams. Verlander's basically on his way out. Scherzer's on his way out. So the Mets are now in that position that's saying, we're going to spend, but we're going to spend wisely.
Yeah. And I think that's the wise choice. I would have maybe cut down maybe $5,000 a little bit more, a little less, but he went where the higher money is. I don't blame Soto for doing that or the Mets doing it either way. It's just now he's in the prime. The Mets are in the prime to do what they have to do, is to win.
Mm-hmm.
Can they be consistent and do that? Because now it's between them and LA.
I think those will be the two favorites for the National League.
They're number 2 right now. And then you can say Philly and then the Braves. But Philly's hit or miss. And who knows if Acuna comes back if he's fully healthy.
Yeah, I agree. So let's get to tonight. You got the Rams taking on the 49ers. And I think last week or the week before, I was talking about how this San Francisco 49ers team can be that team to go on a run. They have an easy schedule. They have the pieces. But after Sunday, I think the LA Rams could be that team to go on a run. Now, are they going to make the playoffs? I am not sure. But they are that team that could be that sleeper team. I think they're going to get in the way of the Niners tonight. I think they have all the momentum because if you're able to put up points against the Buffalo Bills, they lost a lot of pieces on defense, but they put up 45 points and the Bills put up 42. So what do we think the Rams could do tonight against this 49ers team?
It's going to be an offensive game. It's going to be whoever gets, like I always say, whoever gets the ball last is going to win the game. It's prevalent now. But I feel like the Rams are better offensively because if you look at the San Fran, they're a run heavy team. That they have a third string running back running the ball now. That's going to be tough, especially when that front going to stop them. It's going to be Debo and Jennings time.
Mm-hmm.
And on the Rams, I think they have the best duo, one of the best duos in the league right now, with Kupp and Puka.
Yeah, with Puka and Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, I think they're the best tandem, right? Like one of the best. I think. We know number one. It's probably Higgins and Jamar Chase.
Get that money, baby. Payday.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute after a while about that because I feel like something else is going to happen. And then 2 is Jordan Addison and Jefferson. I think they're number 2 in the league. And then 3 you could put Puka and Cooper Kupp. So I feel like it's going to be an offensive happy game.
So let's get to the Cincinnati Bengals. And everyone that knows me knows how much I love Joey Burrow. And, way back, I think Jimmy Drust said that he's the next Andrew Luck.
He still can be. It's still early.
We're not going to get into that argument.
It's still early. You can't say he has one healthy season and then you're going to go crazy.
I'm not going crazy. I'm just speaking the facts. No one likes facts like I do, Jimmy. And the fact is that Joe Burrow has had an MVP type season. And I said that from the beginning that he's going to be on a revenge tour. I said that he could have an MVP type caliber season. And you said, no way, there's no way. He could barely move his hand. And he has had a great season, despite the fact that the Bengals are missing the playoffs most likely, despite the fact that his defense has been a mess. He has stepped up, and he has been playing the best football of his career this year. If Joe Burrow is not at least in the MVP conversation and gets some votes, that is unfair. That is wrong because Joe Burrow is what an MVP is about, especially from my point of view. Most valuable to the team, not the best player, most valuable to the team because the Cincinnati Bengals would be a lot worse than 5-8 if it wasn't for the year that Burrow has had, that Jamar Chase has had, and he has stepped it up big time. Like I said, you like to mock me. Oh, how about them Bengals? They are better than 5-8.
Offensively, better than 5-8. But like I always tell you, what is this? It's a team sport.
It's a team sport, but they're better than what the record says.
Offensively, they're better.
I understand that, but to mock me and the Bengals.
Well, because you always had them. You always had them in the Super Bowl. Always.
Correct. And if the defense was better, they would be there. So it's not like it's been a disappointing season.
Yeah, but I don't think
expectations, disappointing. But Joe Burrow has played well.
If the defense was better, you will not be seeing these numbers. Because he won't be. You know why he has these numbers? They're always playing from behind.
Doesn't matter. He's still playing good
does
football.
matter, 'cause
They're
he's
still
always
playing
playing
good. He's
behind.
still playing good football though.
He's playing good football. But
One game percent. If they won half these games, they would be like 11-2. Realistically, you look at their records, they would be a lot better than 5-8. Same thing with the Chiefs and one possession games. They would not be an 11-1 football team.
But how can you be 300 yards with 3 touchdowns, and then it's because your other half of the team cannot
I understand that,
do its job.
but that doesn't mean he had a disappointing season.
No, he didn't have a disappointing season.
It sucks. It may suck, but he's MVP. He's the MVP of that team.
Of that team, yes, and he's probably gonna get whatever award they have on that team.
So to say I'm wrong in my prediction, you said they're going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
I'm not wrong in what I said because I said what I said was Joe Burrow is going to be on a revenge tour. He's going to be he's going to have an MVP type season. He wants to prove to people that he's still a good quarterback. Everyone, including you, that discredited him, saying he's injury prone. He's injury prone. He hasn't gotten sacked as much as other quarterbacks have this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's up there, but I mean, I don't know what the numbers are or anything.
Because he's had a great season. Despite their record, they are still a contender. Realistically, they are still a contender. If they improve the defense, there's no reason why they can't get back to the Super Bowl within the next few years.
My thing's going to be, I think the offensive coordinator, I think he leaves. I think he goes for a head coaching job.
Yeah, there's been talk of it the last few years.
And I think he's seen the light because if that defense needs a lot of rebuild, and that will take a couple of years. If I'm Jamar Chase or Joe Burrow, I'm asking for a trade.
Why would you do that? He loves it in Cincy.
Because why am I going to say to a team that needs to be rebuild mode? Especially
they're not in rebuild mode. That's what I'm trying to get.
Hold on.
They're not in rebuild mode. They just have to bring a few pieces over. Look at the Buffalo Bills. Were they in? We all said they were in rebuild mode. We all said they were going to miss the playoffs. They're sitting at 10-3 because they have a great quarterback and they're playing games. The Cincinnati Bengals are just right there. They're not far off. Bring in a few guys on defense and they'll be up there.
But then what happens to the offense? T. Higgins leaving. T. Higgins is gone. He's leaving that spot.
But if I'm Joe Burrow, I'm not asking for a trade because I still have a good football team in front of me.
What about Jamar Chase?
Why would he leave? Why would Jamar Chase want to leave? He's got his boy in Cincy. But then he goes go play. He'll go play with his other boy in Minnesota. Be the best team in football. With who? Sam Darnold as a quarterback? Come on.
Or Joe Burrow goes over there.
Why would Joe Burrow leave?
Why would he want to stay?
Why would Joe Burrow?
If the defense is going to take, he had a shot in 2021.
First of all, he just signed a 5-year contract. Why would he want to leave?
Okay, then Jamar Chase goes leave then.
Come on, don't even go there.
Why? Why
These
can't
are-
he?
But why would they want to leave when they have it good? They're putting
Yeah,
up
but
historic.
but-
They're putting up historic numbers.
First round numbers, but the numbers don't equal winning playoff games, winning Super Bowls.
It can.
Not really.
It
You
can.
get the best season all you want. You get the best season all you want. The other half of the
Justin
team,
Herbert. Did he say, "Oh, I want to leave LA"? No, he trusts in the process.
yeah, but he didn't sign a big contract yet. I think this year's his contract year.
No, he signed like a 4-year deal.
I think he did, but still,
But why would he want to leave? Why would he say, "I'm leaving"?
yeah, because who knows what the future holds? Yeah, but he didn't know what the
Who
future
knew-
held.
Who needs a quarterback? Why trade? You guys, so you got these are the teams that need a quarterback,
Raiders,
but are not. They're not going to compete for a Super Bowl. Joe Burrow cannot change the Raiders' offense. He can, but not to where they become a contender. When you have the Chiefs, Chargers, and Broncos in that division, Giants. If he goes to the Giants, do you think the Giants are going to be as good as the
They
Bengals
could.
on
Malik-
offense?
Malik
Absolutely not.
Neighbors?
Absolutely not.
whoa, the Giants with Malik Neighbors, Robinson,
No
Tracy,
quarterback. No quarterback would make a difference for the New York Giants just
I
yet.
think he could. I think he could on the Giants.
So you're saying Joe Burrow would turn this 2-win Giants team into Super Bowl contenders? As much as I love Joe Burrow, that is not true.
Okay, what about the Jets?
Jets, absolutely not.
You don't think so with Devontae Adams,
Absolutely not.
Wilson?
Absolutely
Hall?
not. Because
I don't
it's
know. That was a question mark if Joe
Quarter-
Burrow went there.
Aaron Rodgers is the problem. Woody Johnson is the problem, but they should never have had fired Robert Saleh. Robert Saleh was the scapegoat for Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets mismanagement. They are 1-7 or whatever they are since they let Robert Saleh go.
Yeah. Yeah, I just think, but I think if they get Joe Burrow, the Jets would be a better team because I think you keep Devontae Adams and you have Garrett Wilson, and then your third would be whoever, and they have a good running back, and the defense can get better. It can if you get more pieces. So I could see if Joe Burrow went there, it'd be a better fit.
But this is we're like it's like we're forgetting that the Cincinnati Bengals went to the Super Bowl not even
Yeah.
3 years ago, and we're going to
you
rebuild.
know why? What they had? They
We're
had a
going to
defense.
rebuild.
They had a defense.
We're going to a rebuild mode.
had a
Absolutely not.
They had a defense.
Absolutely not.
They had a defense when he went to the Super Bowl.
I understand that, but they're not in. Okay, Detroit Lions. They have a great head coach.
And they have a great offense and defense.
Of course, I'm not taking that away from them. Maybe Zach Taylor's the problem. I don't know.
It could
But
be,
to say Joe Burrow wants to leave, he wants to. No, come on, we're not going there. They're not rebuilding. They're not in that situation.
Maybe,
Get a
maybe
few.
Joe Burrow don't leave, but Jamar Chase, you think he's going to be happy there if they're not winning game? If they're not going to, if this is going to be constant where they're in fourth place,
But it's not like they've gotten blown out. It's one possession. They would be like 11-3 if they won those games.
yeah, but they always had to play from behind though. You shouldn't
Okay.
have to. You shouldn't have to play behind because you have, oh well, here goes the defense. Here's a touchdown or field goal. There's points coming on the board. So now we gotta play right behind them.
I get that, but I think it would have been a different case. I think it would be a different case if they were way off. They're just a few pieces away. Jake Browning, their backup last year, they were almost a playoff team. They went 9-8, and they missed the
9-8.
playoffs. So I don't think they're far off. I really don't. I don't.
They definitely
I don't
took it
take back my
backwards.
statement that they're a Super Bowl champion winning team. I think they can still with the right pieces in place. I don't think they're that far off.
They definitely took a
I
step
really
back
don't.
from last year though.
I really don't. I still stand by my statement that they're going to win a Super Bowl. I still stand by that. I don't take back my prediction. I don't.
I don't know because I just don't. Like I said to you, and I said at the beginning of the season, I would not trust that defense, and I still don't to this day. And it proved my point: is that defense is letting up so many points where Joe Burrow has to play from behind, and that's not a good thing. If you have a lead, if you're a good defense and you know your offense has a lead, that's it. Wait for the show me.
All right, so this is where we are almost not halfway.
Oh.
The season's almost over. If everyone wants to see
Oh,
where we're at.
Let's take Miami out of there.
Yeah, Miami's done.
No, wait. Miami still has a chance.
They still have a chance?
They still have a chance. Because I think Denver could lose a lot of games. If you look at their main schedule, Denver has a chance to lose games.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think that's 8-7 spot is a lock.
Yeah.
But that's what we got.
6 and 7. Yeah, 6 and 7 spot is still a little finicky.
Jacksonville fell off.
Jacksonville did fall off big time.
Atlanta fell off.
I know it. But the thing is, though, they still have a shot because their main schedule. If you look
Yeah,
at
they
it.
could still win that
Because they got to play
division.
They got to play the Panthers still. They got to play the Raiders. They got to play another couple bad teams. Tampa's got to play a tough challenge coming up sooner or later. I think they have to play the Chargers, which is a tough game. So that division's gonna be a toss up.
All right, so every time we end a show, we do a prediction or we do a hot take. We kind of had our hot take with the Bengals.
Yeah.
So I want one team, you could say it's the best team standing wise, that could go one and done in the playoffs. And honestly, for me, I'm going with the Kansas City Chiefs just
You
because
fucker.
of.
You bastard. Yeah.
Oh, you were going to say them?
God. I have
All
somebody
right,
else
no,
in mind.
no,
I have
I-
somebody else in mind.
All right, I could go with the Houston Texans.
No. No, that was also my other one too. But I mean,
All right, Kansas City Chiefs, just because of the way they've been playing, they've been getting lucky on all these bounces, all these breaks. They could have started the season 0-1 with the likely call, not likely call, but the tight end likely.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, the tiptoe.
Yeah, the tiptoe play. So they've gotten lucky. They've won, like I said, the one possession. They could have a whole. They wouldn't be 11-1, just like the Bengals would not be 5-8. So I just think the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes hasn't been playing to his standard.
No.
But you never know. The playoffs, it could be a whole different ball game. But I just see them being a team that could go one and done. I truly do. It's just, especially if you have that bye, I don't see them carrying the momentum into the playoffs. But like I said, the Kansas City Chiefs playoffs, it's a whole different ball game. But I think they could be one of those teams that go one and done. Same thing with the Texans. Maybe the Broncos could go one and done if they get in. Who knows? But as a favorite, I think the Kansas City Chiefs will be that team.
Yeah, that's a good one because I feel like everybody will say that, and Houston. If I'm gonna say a team that could be one and done in the playoffs, I mean it's easy. It's gonna be Tampa Bay Buccaneers if they get the 4th seed. Just because I feel like Washington's a better team, Minnesota's a better team, the Packers are a better team, and that whole division side. They're a way better team than the Falcons or Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
And,
And it's a weak division.
Yeah, that's a weak division. But it always is though. It's weird. It's either the South or it's the East the one year. That's like it never. Like it's never the West or it's never the North. It's always it's always them two. So I just feel like either if Tampa goes or if the Falcons get the division, I just feel like they're out. They're done.
Yeah.
I mean, offensively, Tampa's great, but they ain't gonna stop Green Bay going down the field.
No, they're not. I think Green Bay could also be that team that goes to the Super Bowl and surprises people. Same thing with the Steelers.
I think they have a hard time. They're gonna have a hard time with Detroit, which they already did twice, and they're gonna have a hard time with Philly. Those are the two teams I feel like they will give a hard time to. Because we'll see this weekend if Philly is a contender because they are playing a tough team in Pittsburgh.
They are.
So,
And I do have the Pittsburgh Steelers winning that game.
I do as well. I just feel like.
But I think it's going to be a dogfight. It's not going to be that easy.
Yeah.
It's going to go down to the wire. Could be up to a field goal. Could be up to a last-minute Barkley run. Who knows?
Well, especially with George Pickens being out, I feel like they're going to utilize the running backs a lot more, the tight ends a lot more. So we'll see how that plays.
All right, Jimmy, it's always a pleasure. Again, stay tuned for more shows in January. We're going to change it all around. More political episodes, more Dougie and Drust, but we're going to have some debates, and it's going to be an interesting conversation between Jimmy and I. when we have these debates. Who would win a Super Bowl matchup? 07 Giants, 08 Steelers. We all know the answer to that one. The 2007 New York Giants.
Yeah, whatever you say.
Yeah. But stay tuned. That will happen in January. So we'll see everybody then. As always, I'm Dougie. We got Drusty.
That's me.
Enjoy the Rams and the Niners later tonight.
Bye bye.